Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It's Geekonomics. We're back. Another week, another show. Brian's here. I'm here. We have a bunch to talk about. We talk about the X-Men 97 trailer.
Yes.
Which we didn't get to last week.
No.
We have some other stuff. Wrestling. The PLE happened in Perth, Australia.
Perth,
Australia.
Perth.
Over the weekend. And I went to Raising Cane's yesterday.
So we're gonna get your review.
So we'll get an in-depth review of that.
You know what's interesting?
It was a spur of the moment thing. There was not a plan for it. I'll get into it when we get to there.
All right.
But there's a whole bunch more. But first off, before we get into anything,
Yes. Mark.
this weekend
Nice pregnant pause.
in Manchester
Yep.
at the Army Navy Club,
You want me to finish
there's a
it?
show. I'm waiting for you to start going. You're just not saying anything.
Well, I don't want to step all over you. Manchester.
I'm giving you big pauses to step on.
Manchester Comic and Toy Convention this
There it
Sunday,
is.
March 3rd, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admissions $5.
4 p.m.?
4 p.m. baby.
Oh my goodness!
Admissions $5 to get in, but if you have a child that's under 10, they get in for free.
What?
Special guests will include Ron Rudat, and Richard Marazzo and Matt C. Ryan.
You got that one easy.
Yes. So 3 special guests.
That's Matt C. Ryan. Matt's a Ryan.
Matt C. Ryan.
Matt's a Ryan.
Matt's a Ryan.
It's like Matt's Yahoo.
There'll be
Matt's a
a
Ryan.
cosplay contest for kids and adults.
Yes, and if you dress up as Matt Ryan, you automatically win.
Yes. There's great prizes.
That's not true.
It's a great time. This is one of the best shows in Manchester, hands down. One of the best shows ever. What are you laughing at? What is going on? Why?
It's like saying we're the best podcast in Enfield.
We're the only
best toy show in Manchester.
Yes.
There are no other toy shows in Manchester.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
You don't know that.
I do.
Well,
Name another toy show in Manchester.
they are the best because no one wants to compete with them. That's how great they are, Mark. What do you want me to say? Jeez, I knew going in this show's gonna be a
That's the top line. You gotta tell Andrew to put that on the next flyer.
yes.
Number 1 rated toy show in Manchester.
You know, back in the day, we used to say we were the top rated show in
we're the number 1 rated radio show in Enfield.
podcast. Yeah. Why?
I mean, who's gonna compete with that?
Exactly.
Who's gonna say any different?
Right. Manchester, hands down, is one of the best shows
We're the
in the
number
area.
1 nerd podcast based out of this studio.
Now, the reason I also say in Manchester, that area, because
Connecticut.
this past weekend we had the East of the River show.
Yes.
Hands down, one of the best shows in Enfield.
Number 1 rated
Number 1 rated
comic
convention.
book and collectible show on Enfield Street
this
past weekend.
Let me tell you that this weekend was a rager. It was a great success.
Words you don't associate with comic
Rager.
book shows.
It was a rager.
A rager.
It was a rager.
There's so many box diving going on. It was
Oh
crazy.
God, people were jumping off the walls.
People were up to their knees in box diving.
No, in all honesty though, this past Sunday, this was one of the best February shows in memory. I think the last February show that was massive was right before COVID, was in 2020, then COVID happened.
Because everyone knew they were being locked down. They had the feeling that lockdowns are coming.
This show had a lot of families, which is what we want. A lot of kids,
Yeah.
what we want.
Forcing their parents to spend money.
What we want.
I want that toy.
This show was, the moment we opened at 9 up until 2:30 was just a flow of people. It never really slowed down.
Yeah.
2:30 it kind of ended, which is fantastic.
From the windows to the walls even.
Yes. Matt Ryan, he was talking to kids. He was making.
Yeah, he said he killed it. He said he did pretty good.
Dude, he did real good.
He went in not expecting to do anything, and he did pretty good. But he said that he has to have that thought process, because when he gets all excited about things, then he gets his hype train too high, and then he crashes.
This show was fantastic. I was told over 300 people showed up. Now that's 300 plus because kids get in for free. So
Yeah.
you have no way of tabulating that. But
I mean,
saw
you could count heads.
I saw a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic show. We saw a lot of people who actually came up for the first time.
Yeah.
That through Facebook, they're like, Bryon, you're always inviting me to this. I finally made it out.
Well, see, here's what I'm going to do.
That was really
I don't
cool.
know if anyone else has done this yet, but I'm going to say I'm the first person to do it. You deserve all the credit for this. You paper the town of Enfield with flyers.
I don't deserve the credit.
Well, you deserve some of the credit.
Well, I do a lot.
You do.
I went out on Friday.
You paper the town red with
do.
flyers.
I do. I'm really.
If people don't know this show is happening and the week leading up to it, they're not walking around town. They don't leave their house because you're almost to the point now where you're about to start leaving them in people's mailboxes. Like
If I could, I would.
just going house to house, driving around.
I did put out signs that Friday. I did put out street signs.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure helped because people driving around want to do something. And
Yeah.
tag sales are becoming starting
Starting to warm up. Stagtail season.
Yeah, that's how people notice. So I did a lot. Thank you, Mark. I did do a lot of signs and flyers, and I did social media posts constantly. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was well worth it. I mean,
bet Scott was happy.
Scott was very happy. We were.
I mean, not completely happy because I didn't end up going, but
That's what we got to talk about, Mark.
there was extenuating
question.
circumstances.
I get the question. Where's Mark? Mark hasn't come to these. Is he mad at me?
No, I've told him reasons why.
Also,
I told him why I haven't been there. It's not like it's some secret.
you have a guy.
Matt Ryan doesn't need my help, so I haven't gone.
You have a guy named John. He's a Matchbox guy.
Hot Wheels guy.
Older
guy.
He has been looking for you. He was like, "Where's Mike? Is he okay? Is he sick? No, he's fine. He hasn't come to these shows. I got stuff for him. He is. He really wants to see you."
Well, the only reason why I was going in the first place was to help Matt with his booth. Since he started doing the Brenda book,
Yeah.
he hasn't really been promoting his other stuff. He's just been focusing on Brenda.
Right.
So
Doing good.
for that, it's kind of like he doesn't need two people.
Mm-hmm.
There's other reasons that I won't talk about on the podcast
Well,
that go along with that.
are
But
you going to make an appearance? Just come to this Manchester one?
I don't know.
Just come and say hi. Walk
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. I'm also in Springfield now. It's not like it's conducive to drive all the way to Manchester just to walk around and wave at people.
Yeah, but you know a lot of people, so it'd
I
be
do,
like
but it's like
you get to
if
hang
I'm not
out,
like
go shopping,
doing something there, it's kind of hard to convince the homestead that I'm just going to take off to just walk around and wave at people on a Sunday when I
What
could
did God
be.
say? You're not at a parade.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but it's like, I mean, to be honest, that's what they would think.
What?
If you were to like, I know you're doing your booth,
Yes,
but if you weren't doing a booth,
I've gone to shows.
I know, but like that, I think in my head that's what they think we do at these shows. Is just go there and just like sit around and hang out and chat for 6 hours, then come back. And it's like, why are you just doing that and not hanging out with me?
Oh, I mean, Sundays are kind of like the day to do whatever we want, and like,
Oh, I know, but it's just like I feel like I have to like it's more in my own head that I just feel like I don't have a justification to just go.
right? You want to be home. I get it.
Well, I want to be home, but then also if I'm going to a show, I want to be doing something. I don't want to just go and just like I'm not going to go and buy books or anything. I'm not going to go and do stuff.
Way back in the day,
If
before
I was still like collecting stuff like I was in the back of the
Right.
day, I would, but I'm not. so.
before I was a vendor, I would go to the shows and visit you and Matt and
Yeah.
whoever. I mean, now that I sell stuff, it's
Yeah.
a different story, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Well, if you can make it, great. If you can't, that's fine.
Yeah.
We do. I'm going to be part of, and we'll mention this real quickly. We'll move on. But Cliff's Con is going to be doing the Bristol show at the hotel,
At night.
and it's going to be Good
After-
Friday.
After dark.
It's going to be after dark,
Cliff's Con after dark.
6 to 10 p.m. And it's going to be the first time we're having it on a Friday night. So I will be doing that. I'm very excited
Yeah.
to do this.
Unfortunately, Norman Katz can't make it. I did look into it, and he's not available.
You know, the Safari Brothers sell his
They do, but I'm
artwork.
saying there was a possibility. I was in negotiations to actually get Norman Katz to appear,
Yeah.
But his handler is already working for Cliff doing caricatures.
Yeah.
So he can't be doing that and also be taking care of Norman Katz at the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
unfortunately, Norman can't make it.
If that's a show, you could even bring Claire because they have a restaurant right there.
Yeah.
You can have dinner.
Sure.
You can have dinner, walk around, say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm actually going to see if I can get Allison to go with me on that one.
Wow.
Yes. I said, if anyone you want to help me with, this would be the one.
Yeah, that's the one you need help at. That's
Yeah.
a big.
Because you get hungry and it's
Hangry,
4 hours. I mean,
I mean, it's not as bad as like a usual show.
like a Sunday was
Like a
normally
Sunday, it's usually like because you're there.
10 to 3.
'Cause even if the show starts at 9, per se, you have to be up and set up by like 8:30.
Right.
So that means you have to be there for like 7:30.
Yeah, I'm usually there
Which
at
means
7.
you have to leave the house around like 6
Yes. Yeah.
to get to
long.
Bristol.
This one,
So that's a little different.
I got to set up around 3.
Yeah.
So I can leave the house at 2:30, get there for 3,
Yeah.
or leave at 3, get there at 3:30, because it doesn't start
Yeah.
until 6. Like
Yeah.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's coming up near the end of the month. We'll talk about that more after.
Yeah.
But this Sunday is the Manchester one. Best show
Yeah.
in Manchester, hands down.
Yeah. Make a little romantic situation of it and get a hotel room that night there, and then you could just
We got cats. Can't get hotels. What are you talking about?
cats. You don't need it. They don't need anything.
I got to feed them.
Just get them those just put out some food for them. They'll be fine.
I miss my cats too much. I can't do that.
Oh my god, you're bad as Claire. Like they're cats. Just like throw some food in a bowl. They'll be fine. They don't
Anyway,
care. The cat doesn't. The cat give 2 hoots if you're there or not.
well, my cat. I love my cats.
Well, I know
All
you
right.
do, but your cat doesn't give 2 hoots if you're around or not.
All right, 2 hoots.
2 hoots in a pizza place.
Speaking of pizza places, let's go
Speaking
to
of pizza
Raising Cane's.
Not a pizza place.
No.
It's a chicken fingers place.
Now, let's give us what you watched of note, but also please include your
okay.
Raising Cane review.
Okay, so what I watched of note hasn't really been anything of
Yeah, it's been quiet, huh?
major importance. It's been kind of dead.
Did you watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
I've not yet. No. No.
I love that show. So
Yeah.
good. So good.
Yeah. Really not been watching anything really of super interest. Yeah, just kind of just watching random stuff.
It was a
kinda,
busy week for you and me
Yeah,
and a lot of people.
Yeah, I just kind of
So how was Raising
the weekend
Cane's?
was busy. It was good. It was a spur of the moment thing. Usually I have a salad for lunch, but I opened up my salad and it was wilted because I buy like the pre-made salads,
Yeah.
and it was all like brown and stuff, like looking.
Yes,
I was
gross.
like,
And you don't want to get the Rhea after you eat that.
Exactly.
That
I was
does
like-
happen.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to take any chances with this. So, sitting here sitting in the bunker here, I was like, oh, I'm starving. I need to get something before the show happens
Yeah.
last night. So I was like, I'm going to be stuck here till at least 7, 8 o'clock at night. There's no way I'm going to be able to make it that long without having something to eat. So I was like, I'm just going to take a shot. Try the Canes. If it's too busy, then I'll rethink my plan of attack and go somewhere else
There's
or something.
plenty of Popeyes
There's plenty
right
of
there.
options. It was either that or Teriyaki Madness. I was like, I'll go to Canes first. If Canes wasn't an option, if it's too busy or too crazy, then I'll hit the Teriyaki Madness. And
Teriyaki Madness, not
yeah,
that bad.
it's not terrible.
Not
but I was
bad.
like, it's the 2 new places. So
Yeah,
I was like, either
yeah,
one, I'll have something to talk about tomorrow on the show.
Yeah,
So ran over to Canes. The line wasn't terrible.
that's good.
It was confusing getting into there.
How long was the line?
I basically got almost to the front of the building when I first got in the
Drive-through.
line. Yeah, drive through.
Okay.
You can't park. You can't like walk. You have to like park in the mall parking lot
Yes, to walk
to
in.
walk in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So, well, because the line wasn't that. I was like, if the line's not that long, I'll just hop in line.
Right.
So I hopped in line. It took me probably like 20 minutes in line.
Wow, that's a long time.
Well, not as bad as I've seen some other people say.
But they got to cook it.
They do. That is true.
Yeah.
That's how they make food. They have to cook it.
They have to cook it. It's not just sitting there under a
Not
hot
just sitting
plate.
there waiting for it. Well, I mean, I'm
be.
pretty sure they have some pre-made. They're not like
Right.
just like making it to order every time someone
Right.
places an order. Yeah, I just got like the 4-finger box with fries
And bread.
coleslaw,
So how?
and their sauce.
Okay, question before we get into it. I know the sauces are what people talk about. How
Yeah.
was the chicken? How was it overall?
Chicken was all right. I don't mind the breading. Overall, I thought it was too salty for me.
Mm.
I'm not a big salt guy.
Mm.
Never have been.
No.
Like even McDonald's fries sometimes, if they're like get a heavy salt shaker
yeah.
person, then I'm not like I'm against it. Like I
Yeah.
don't like getting like the dry.
So you're saying the
mouth.
fries are salty?
Yeah.
Was
Well,
it
there was a chicken. There's a little bit of salt on the chicken
Oh,
too.
like the spice.
No, just like salt.
Okay.
Because if you get it, I mean, not for nothing. I'm sure it probably this comes over from the fries.
Yes.
Because they put it all in that container.
Yeah.
It's like a to-go container, like you get at, like a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, it's a styrofoam container.
No, but it's like plastic. It's like that
Oh, okay.
recyclable
Gotcha.
styrofoam type
Yeah.
container. So, but yeah, I mean, it was the food was meh. The sauce was interesting. It's definitely the sauce is the reason for going.
Right. That's what people say. That's
Yeah.
what I hear.
Yeah.
Now, here's a big
The
question.
coleslaw was too wet for me.
You know, I'm not a big coleslaw guy.
I'm not a big coleslaw guy either, but if I am doing coleslaw, I know this is a weird thing to discuss, but it like I like a dry coleslaw. Like I don't like a really like mayonnaise-y wet coleslaw.
I feel like fast food joints are always wet.
Yeah.
Sloppy
Yeah.
coleslaw.
Yeah.
Like KFC is sloppy coleslaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like a drier coleslaw. Like I don't mind if it's like it's got to have mayonnaise and stuff in it anyways, but I don't like it like sitting in a gloppy
Right.
solution.
I hear you. I agree. Here is my question. What you paid in the food, does it add up? Is it worth what you paid for?
Well, I
don't
thought
know
about that too because I said it was like for just the thing I got, it came to like $13.
It's about average.
Yeah,
About
so
average.
that's why I figured it's about what you would get nowadays anywhere else.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, and I got a drink too, but I didn't drink the drink. It's just because it comes with the meal. You can't not get a drink.
Yeah.
So I got like a water in like a cup. So it was
Yeah.
like not worth the
Right.
drink, so to speak. But I was like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a place I'd run back out to go to.
But you should try it.
Yeah.
I still have to try it myself.
Yeah.
But
Like I was saying to Claire last night, like in my rankings of chicken places, it's probably like like around here chicken places.
yeah.
Probably like my third option
Yeah.
of chicken places.
For me, it'd be Popeyes.
Well, Popeyes is first for sure. But I've had this discussion multiple times with and even one of the coworkers here yesterday. I was having that conversation. Popeyes chicken is really good. Their sides are kind of lackluster.
I agree. Yeah.
So like you can like basing it off the chicken itself, which is the whole point of the restaurant.
Right.
Popeyes is in the front, and then I'd probably put Chick-fil-A before Raising Cane's,
Interesting.
chicken wise.
Gotcha.
My thing with Chick-fil-A is that their nuggets are too small. They're like popcorn chicken, in my opinion. They're not like really nuggets. Like nuggets are bigger.
Yeah. I have no opinion, I guess. I've been there twice my whole life.
Yeah,
I wasn't that
I haven't been there in a
impressed.
long time.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. Like I haven't been there a long. Like when they opened originally, I think I went a couple times, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I know my sister, I know Kylie, and I think Mariah are like addicted to Chick-fil-A. They love that place.
Yeah.
But no, Cane's was, and the chicken was all right. Like I said, it was kind of salty. The garlic bread was good.
People say the bread's good.
It doesn't really make any sense why it's there, but it's good.
To suck up all the grease? I don't know.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just another thing to like dunk into the sauce.
Is the chicken greasy?
No, it wasn't super greasy.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But then again, it's also like that thing of, I don't know if it's the containers that they're using,
Yeah.
if that's like they're always containers, or if it's just because it's the beginnings of it, that's easier to just get those to go type containers
Yeah.
as opposed to giving out like the individual like
I think,
at like another restaurant where they have like the pockets for like the fries and stuff like that and stuff.
I
like
think
that.
that's how they serve.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I don't know if
all
that's
the
a-
photos I've ever seen, it looks like a Chinese
Restaurant container.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like it's associated with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's the delivery mechanism is what makes it not as
Presentation. You're saying.
Yeah.
Presentation. When
Well,
you
the
look
fries
at it,
weren't crisp either. That's the other thing.
soggy.
A little bit because they're crinkle cuts.
I like crinkle.
I don't dislike them, but it's just
soggy.
they don't usually
Crisp.
They don't really hold up to.
You gotta have crisp.
Yeah.
But if you're in that container, you're building up moisture.
Yeah.
Which makes them
especially when
soggy.
if you're driving it home or to your.
You drove it from Enfield all the way home?
No, I went
here?
back here.
Oh, okay.
But even still, like
That wasn't that far, but
no, I'm saying like in general, if you're
Still,
driving it
totally.
a distance, it's not gonna structural integrity is not gonna last.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I think would be more conducive to a dine-in situation.
A little bit more fresh, not as soggy.
Yeah,
That's good to
yeah,
know.
you get it like right there.
Right there.
I have that same feeling about Burger King fries. Burger King fries are a dine-in option, not
yes.
a to-go option,
No. Yeah.
because they don't hold up for travel.
I think a lot of these fries don't hold up for travel.
But see, that's why Burger King, I always go with onion rings. So that's the only bonus. And that's the thing with this place is there's some of them that have different like side options.
Really?
This one doesn't.
All we have is the chicken and chicken sandwich.
Well, that's like those are the normal, but there's I think other restaurants, the other options of their restaurants might have different sides.
Huh.
I could be mistaken about that.
Interesting. So in the Mark Warnock review,
I give it like a 7.
okay. That's not bad. That's good.
Yeah.
That's above average.
Yeah.
5 being average,
Yeah.
7 being a little bit above.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean,
All
it's
right.
no Popeyes at a 9, but you know.
Yeah. You know what I think has the worst chicken? KFC.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the most disgusting chicken I
Yeah.
think I've ever seen in fast food.
Yeah.
And I think the quality has gone down.
It's gone way down.
Because
when they
I
had the restaurant where
In
the
Enfield.
Verizon is now,
Yeah.
that was a good KFC. That was like good. And I do say the one of Popeyes, even the one in Enfield, is the best Popeyes I've been to since like the one I went to in New York like years ago.
Yeah, because they're newer, so everything's a little bit better.
Well, even just that, I think it's just I don't know what it is, but they just put the effort in.
Yeah. I've been to some bad Popeyes
I've been to some bad Popeyes.
where it's like 3 people working,
Yeah.
and it was the most painful experience of my life.
There's one near my house that I'm not a huge fan of.
It all depends on who's there.
It's like a desperate.
Yeah.
If you're in desperate need of Popeyes chicken, I'll go there. But
Yeah.
since having the one here now, it's like the other place. Even though you're close to me, I'll pick it up on the way home and eat it when I get home.
Right.
Kind of situation.
Right.
Because that actually, the structural integrity of that chicken holds. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear Raising Cane is
Yeah.
decent enough.
Well, but it's more of a. It's not a tender like the chicken tenders at Popeyes are like a tender. They're more of a long strip, like a tenderloin.
Well, what's this? It's a
This
chicken.
is a chicken finger,
Yeah.
so it's more of like a long strip of a chicken.
The chicken fingers I've seen though remind me of carnival, like you go to a fair.
Yes, yeah,
They're very
it's
much
like
in
that
line
kind
of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they made it look more like fingers.
Because chickens got fingers.
Chickens do have fingers. They have claws technically, but
They do have claws.
They do.
But we're not eating chicken claws.
yeah, chicken feet.
Chicken feet.
People do eat those.
That's so gross. Okay.
I mean, it's a cultural thing. But I would say if you're into that, enjoy it.
All right.
It seems like it's doing a booming business.
It
so
is.
Props to them. It's the newest one. It's the only one in the Northeast, I think.
Right. Yes.
So that's a big happening for Enfield to get the first one.
The week it opened, I was doing my Friday morning errands, and I drove by the mall, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and the line was out to the old Sears, and I was just like, holy
Even
hell.
before that, there was people, because initially it was supposed to open
We had a snowstorm.
on the 13th.
It opened.
They had a snowstorm.
Yeah.
But people still camped out through the snowstorm.
Because they were giving away
100 meals for a year.
For a year, you can get Raising Cane for a year
Yeah.
if you were like a certain person in line.
Yeah.
So
They give out to random people
Yeah.
in line.
yeah, just like Chick-fil-A did that.
Yeah.
If
a lady
they
that
opened at midnight.
that I've worked with for things here actually was one of the people who got picked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
she doesn't even like fast food.
Oh, jeez.
So she got picked. She took her son, and her son didn't get picked, but she got picked.
Did she give it to her son, at least? Give it to
I
someone
don't know if
who's
you
going
can
to
do
enjoy
that. I don't know
it?
if you can transfer it.
I mean, if I was there and
You'd have to go with him every time to order it. I'm
right,
assuming.
because if I won and I was like, I don't really like this food, I'm just checking it out,
just brought my son.
I would give it. I would be like, can I give
Yeah.
this to someone else? Because I
Can
don't
just
want. I
give
don't.
it to my son, who's definitely going to be the one that's going to eat here.
Right. You don't want to waste that. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good prize.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's so expensive nowadays. To get
Yeah.
yourself a year's worth of anything is pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't poo-poo that.
Or a poo-poo platter even.
Poo-poo platter.
Poo-poo for 2.
All right. Well, thank you for the review, Marcus.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So,
The next thing coming is Haya Sushi.
which is going to mean the old Denny's.
The old Denny's. How are you going to handle that? That's going to be a tough thing for you.
Okay. I have two thoughts about this. I'm excited that something new will be coming into town. Sushi places, and I said this in our group chat, don't seem to last very long.
This one's pretty decent.
Is it good?
There's one, like
It's
we were
gotta
talking
be
about
good.
before the show. There's one up by me.
It's still open.
It's still open. It's the guys that actually have the Joy Bowl restaurant here in town.
I like the
It's their restaurant. It's
Oh.
their. They opened that. It's like a new chain thing they're starting to do.
Okay.
So they opened that up by me behind the Wings over Springfield. They opened it in the old, I think it was a Ginger Blossom Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
We've ordered from there a couple times. Haven't gone in person
That's good.
because I'm not a big sushi person, so it really doesn't make any sense for me to go and
Yeah.
do all you can eat sushi.
Right.
But their other stuff is all right.
It's
So-
all you can eat.
There's certain things Josh was saying. There's like 2 pages of stuff that all you can eat.
Wow.
Of options.
Interesting. That place is going to be packed in the beginning, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I'll
I was
check
gonna
it out.
say, before the new one opens here, if you want, maybe you and Allison can come up, visit us up in our neck of the woods. And you
Yes.
can go there and you could try it out.
Yes, that sounds
Get
good.
your feet wet.
Yes. Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
We should do it.
I was thinking that's a good idea. So
Yeah.
then you can kind of get your, because I know it's going to be a difficult thing for you to go into that establishment
Denny's.
and not be a Denny's.
I used to sit here when I was a teenager.
I knew that's what it's going to be.
People used to smoke cigarettes.
I was thinking about that when I was at Raising Cane's because I was watching it. I was in line sitting there, and they're across the street. The trucks just started showing up and are starting to do like the pre-renovation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go with Brian and like hold his hand and like walk.
I don't
like,
know if
coach
I
him
can
through
make it.
coach him through this. Like we should get the guys together and go and like
Yeah. We should.
get in our corner
lunch.
spot if they have the same like city areas.
Yeah, we should all go. Like I don't know.
Record a podcast inside then.
We're
Haya Sushi,
Oh my God. You know what it's like though?
a live food review.
Even though they knocked down Chi-Chi's and rebuilt the Outback, which is now
basically
closed,
looks exactly like Chi-Chi's.
it was almost the same floor plan.
Yeah.
So when I went in there for the first time,
Yeah.
on the right side was like where the bar was.
Yeah.
And it was kind of laid out the same. And I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was in the building.
Yeah.
But they closed more. They closed like 41 Outbacks this week.
Yeah.
That's a restaurant going down.
That's the one that's going down.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, not really the best
No.
vegetation. That's true. Even like there by us, there's was an Olive Garden that closed.
That's
'Cause
amazing.
when you're not there, they're family. So
Olive Gardens are always busy.
I know.
How
I think it was just the owner issue.
Okay.
But they turned it into a Korean hot pot, all you can eat place.
Oh.
So the first time we went there, it was even strange. I don't like we've been there a couple times, but it's like our neighborhood Olive Garden,
Yeah.
and when you need to be in
Family?
like your family, you would go there. But no, so for the first time we went there, it was very weird. It was like, oh man, that's where that was, in the
Yeah.
old Olive Garden, and that's where that was.
We're gonna go into the sushi place, and I'd be like, and that's where that drunk guy peed in that,
Yeah.
and that's where
Denny'sPoops.com started.
yeah, that's where I was when I was
I
drunk.
mean, the one
here.
good thing about it is the bathroom will always work, as opposed to the previous regime
right? Yeah,
where it never worked, or one worked and you had to share and take turns
take turns.
and wait in the hallway
Yeah,
at 2:00 in the morning.
morning. Yeah, that's true. Well, that'd be fun. Okay, I like that idea, Mark.
Or waking people up from sleeping in the booths to take them home.
Oh, Denny's, we miss you. Oh, in our youth,
Or randomly picking up people's girlfriends there because they've been camped out there for 6 hours and they needed a ride home.
All right, let's move on.
yeah.
For me, Marcus, I didn't watch anything. I've had a busy week. The one thing that I was excited about is being part of ETV this past Wednesday. We had
Yes.
a band Private
EQ
Language
TV
on
even.
EQTV. The reason I bring this up is Ryan, the lead singer, was
Yeah.
he was
I had
behind
no
the
idea.
camera of Equilibrium TV.
Not that I would know because I wasn't at that show. So
It was a Josh Eason event.
Josh Eason production.
We did the Jeff Buckley tribute.
Hey guys. Production.
Tribute, which is on our YouTube channel, and Ryan he was the other camera guy.
Yeah.
So it was like crazy because he goes, "I know you, I know you
Yeah.
through
when,
Josh
he-
Eason." And I
when
was
he-
like, "What?"
When he showed up before you got here, he was like, "I've really been wanting to get in the show for years." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, yeah, he
Weird.
said
Why
when
would you want to be on the show?
he said
so
when
then?
it came back, he goes,
He's
"Oh,
like, I was super excited when you guys brought the show back.
Yeah.
And I was like, you watched the show? He was like, no, I was a crew guy on the show. I was like, what?
yeah, it was cool."
I was like, it must have been a show I wasn't at. And so he told me, I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy.
Well, the Jeff Buckley tribute show, which was in Northampton. Long story short, it was put together by our friend Brian
Yeah.
Toole. He put it together. Tons of local artists, all tribute to Jeff Buckley, and Josh Eason. They had talked to him about getting it filmed, and now originally had nothing to do with ETV.
Yeah.
So what happened was Josh reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got someone. Can you do camera
Yeah.
for this? We want to film it." And
Yeah.
I said, "Well, if I'm going to do camera, can I?"
Can we use it?
And if you remember, I did edit the shows here.
You did.
So that's how that came about. And I think that was the only show. Me and Ryan were both paid by Josh.
Wow.
I think we made $60
Wow.
because Josh,
Got paid for doing it.
he got paid from doing it from
That's where we steered ourselves wrong. The
from
old
Brian.
show.
Yeah.
It's not getting paid to do those shows.
He got Brian paid because
would do it for
he
free.
wanted
We were so
someone
dumb.
to
Yeah.
have this recorded because it was
Yeah.
a big event. And Josh, I remember both of us getting paid.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting show.
I would say that was like one of the few shows that I wasn't involved in. Like,
but there was a couple of shows I wasn't involved with.
no, yeah, but I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
I think you're, like I was thinking about it. I think it was that one, the Ha Ha Heat show. I didn't do.
Ha Ha Heat. We saw them. But
Reverend Horton Heat. Reverend Horton Heat.
Neither of us were part of that.
Yeah.
See, we actually ETV near the, a
Near
lot
the
of,
end, we started the.
we had
We
people.
used to crop it out to people.
People were doing it.
Whatever that
Andy
word is.
Heavysides.
Yeah.
He recorded a band at the Webster.
Yeah.
which-
Was that the McMahons or whatever?
No, that was from Longmeadow.
That was the other
the
one I
one
did, too.
he filmed his buddy's band in Webster. They did all. He even did the editing. Then the show.
Was that Tidwell's?
Ted Wills. I did that
Oh.
with Sam.
Those are the ones at the 11s that you guys did.
Yes.
That's right.
Um.
There was a chain there at the time when like the 11s was the place, and you were filming shows there all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it just like it all depends. But Eason and Allison Ornstein and those guys
Yeah.
did Reverend Horton Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't involved, I was involved in it, but just was a camera guy for it and didn't really do anything because Josh took the lead on it. Was the Horse the Band one? That was a Josh Eason production.
Well, we were all there for that.
Yeah, no, but I didn't he spearheaded it all because I had no idea who they were or anything about them.
Well, we had Ryan Mead did the interview.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the lead singer was sick. So
Yeah.
he sang behind the curtain the whole time. And they
Yeah.
put a little stuffed animal on the thing.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of bands we did that day.
Yeah.
Horse the Band was the biggest. I mean, I didn't know them either, other than
Yeah.
Josh got us the
Yeah.
gig. You're right.
Wasn't Simon Sinister opening? Is that what that was?
No, Simon Sinister,
Or was that Morningwood?
we watched that together.
Yeah.
We
Or was
didn't
that
film
Simon
that.
Sinister was there
Yes.
playing before though?
Simon Sinister opened up for Morningwood.
On the
'Cause we went
Underground.
with
There was the
Susie.
Underground, yeah.
Yeah. Which I saw Sunday with the kids.
I told her about it. I told her about the show when I saw her at the train show.
Susie came with the kids.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her forever.
Well, yeah, there's reasons behind that.
Anyway, so yeah, we can go. People
Yeah.
are like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, Private Language.
Happens when you go down the rabbit
I
hole.
would go, look them up. They're on all the streaming platforms. Fantastic band.
Yeah, they're very cool. It's a very.
It was a great show.
Claire was asking like what their sound was, and I was like, it's a very smooth. That's all I can say. It's a very smooth sound.
Yeah.
It's very well put together.
You know, I don't say this very often, but I'm still listening to their EP Teeth. I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
It's real good.
That's cool.
And honestly, all these bands that
You're about to transition into a new band, so don't
I
get
know.
too attached.
but all these bands
gotta
so
start
far, it's 2 for 2.
You gotta start working on the new one.
2 for 2.
Yeah,
Illuminous. I love their music as well.
Yeah.
So we're
So you're
moving
getting
on.
back into the groove.
Back into the local scene.
Yeah.
As it is.
Which is weird because I was like thinking that the other day because when I went to the show at the 52 Sumner, the 413 show, that was like the first local show I'd been to eons. I can't remember the last time it was too before that.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So it was just very strange, and I was like, oh man, I used to enjoy going to these and doing the show, and we used to film the bands, and it was the reason why it was an excuse to go to the shows basically. And
Before ETV, we used to play them on the radio.
yeah.
CO2 was a big proponent.
Yeah. Well, like,
GB&E, CO2.
because we did that Battle of the Bands at TD Shenanigans was the impetus of all that stuff. But yeah, so it's just kind of crazy, and it's like thinking to myself now, and like now we're like booking the show and getting the bands and finding out all these bands and seeing how many bands are out there that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like there's so much music out there that
Oh, yeah. That's great.
People should be listening to. So you should check it out.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Yeah. But Equilibrium TV, it's on Facebook, on the YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
The private language show will be dropping on local television next couple weeks. And it's on the shows are on the Wax every Thursday at 10 p.m.
Nice.
Last week was Egg. I want to say this week, don't hold me to it because I can't remember off the top of my head because I have so many schedules for who's playing where and when. I think it's Sparkle and Fade this week.
That was a good band too. They were great.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorites. I'd say them, Audio Jane. Every band we had last year was really good.
Yeah.
Diminishing Jim was and Unlucky Me was all right too, but
But GB&E
GB&E
really
was
pulled
the
it.
best.
They pulled it together.
yeah. And the fact that like when I was going back to the private language show, I was telling Ryan like he's like, oh, it was crazy. I saw the Unlucky Me show because they played with Unlucky Me and it's one of his I don't know if it was his band or an old band. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, and then I told him about the GB&E thing. He's like, what? You guys got GB&E together?
Well,
I was like, yeah, the GB&E.
I
was together.
relabeled that so people know because
it was at the time we were trying to keep it a secret because we didn't want people wanted it to be a surprise.
Secrets out.
Yeah, so it's like it was a news embargo as they say. You want to let the secret out of the bag until after it's
right. So,
but yeah,
it's been a blast, Mark.
Yeah,
it's
been
been
crazy.
a blast. I look forward to it.
Yeah, this month we have Soldiers coming in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but that's how
Well, I'll be reaching out to them and listening to their tunes. So
because their thing is spelled weird. It's SOLGYRES. I don't know if it's supposed to be soldiers, like Folgers coffee, or Soldiers. So
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll talk to them.
Soul Gyros. It could be that too.
Yes, gyros, soul gyros.
It's the name of a new restaurant, Soul Gyros.
Soul gyros. Let's move on. Let's move on to last week. We didn't get to talk about the X-Men '97 trailer.
Yes.
Now, for me, I was just we talked about shows we were looking forward to, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, well.
For me, that show is just a theme song.
But I saw the trailer.
The theme song is the thing for that show.
Yeah, but I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this. I'll watch it. They got all the old original voices.
Yeah.
The animation's the same.
Some of them passed away, so some of them aren't.
But you could hear the oldness in their voices.
Yeah.
But I like that it's a continuation because Professor X had died in the final episode.
Yeah.
Now it looks like Magneto is taking over.
Yes.
I am in. Yeah. I will definitely check this out.
Yeah.
So I hope we can talk about it on the show. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It takes a little bit more. It's like if I didn't see that trailer, I was still hemming and hawing. but that trailer didn't. The theme song did it for me too.
Yeah, the theme song is the whole thing.
It's a great theme song.
It's really the theme song is the whole
I
thing.
just heard the door.
I heard the door as well.
Josh, you gonna go
Leave
get
on the
door?
wide shot and go get the door.
Yeah, we'll keep talking.
But yeah, so that's X-Men 97.
Yeah.
It's
So are
coming.
you excited to do anything for you other than the theme song?
Like I wasn't a huge fan of the original. I think I was too old at that point. I didn't really get into the original.
I watched.
Like I
when
wasn't a big
could.
X-Men guy anyways.
I was really into X-Men comics.
Yeah.
I had a lot of
I wasn't
X-Men
a huge
Adventure
X-Men guy.
comics. I had a lot of.
It was kind of just going on. And I knew it was a very popular show. But between that and Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man show was out too. That was kind of yeah.
I mean, I was a huge Batman animated series guy.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was into.
But that
Even that
came
Superman
out.
animated series was good.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
like that the look of it, the noir look to it.
Right.
I
Well,
was
that's what
into
the
that.
Batman had too.
Yeah.
But I really, I think we're in the clear.
Yeah, it's just someone coming to edit, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, Batman. But yeah, X-Men. You're gonna check it out.
I'll check it out, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for
all right.
sure.
We'll talk
I
about
will
at
have
least
to
the first
like
episode.
watch or see if there's some kind of online like catch up thing.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure
'Cause
a
I know it
lot
definitely
of the,
got deep. Like if I remember correctly, when I did get into it, towards the end, they got into like the House of M stuff and all that kind of like deep X-Men lore stuff,
yes.
which I have no idea about whatsoever. And I know like there was a big thing where at the last season of the show, a lot of the people that worked on the original seasons left. There's like a issue with creative, so the last season kind of got weird
Yeah, I'm
and kind of went off the rails a little bit.
unaware.
And they killed Professor X at the end.
Well, he dies at the end. Yeah.
And then there's that weird scene where they're all like staring off into space, and that's how this show ends.
And it never came back.
It never came back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's kind of like I don't know how they're gonna like approach that.
Well,
Because suppose it picks up right where this show left
yes,
off.
Yes, it's gonna be good.
So
I bet you anywhere IGN and websites alike are all gonna be making like one of those
Yeah,
5
like
minute
catch you up
Catch
kind
you.
of
I mean,
things.
I'll definitely watch that.
or
too.
put on the front of the series. That's the thing you would do. That's the best thing to
You
do.
know, you think they would, but
Like
who
an
knows?
episode 0 or something. Like how do we get to here?
They could, Disney could. That would be very
They
smart.
do have the whole series on the Disney
a
Plus
lot.
too,
It's
but
a
I
lot.
don't want to watch.
I'm not gonna have time to watch all that.
I mean, I know I've tried watching it before,
Yeah,
and it's kind of tough because it's
product of its time.
product of its time.
I feel like it's going to be a little bit
Yes.
more juicier this time around. A little bit more
Yes, except
oomph in there.
on certain characters' drawings.
Okay. You know, people
It's
need
a
to
thing
get
that's been talked about.
People-
I'm not bringing it up. It didn't
here.
really affect
PSA.
me at
I'm
all.
gonna look right at this camera.
Didn't
PSA.
affect me at all.
PSA. I'm going to say this. Just because you can't do something crude to a cartoon or you want to sexualize a cartoon is very weird. And it's very disturbing. So just enjoy the show. Who cares?
I mean, I'm sure there's.
You should not worry
for
about
nothing,
an animated butt. Someone's
To-
animated butt.
to generation behind us or younger than us. Rogue to them is as Jessica Rabbit was to our generation. I'm thinking.
I understand. But Rogue is still a good-looking character. Jessica Rabbit
Yeah.
still. But we don't need to sexualize cartoons.
No,
It's
we
weird.
don't.
It's weird.
No.
You're an adult.
Yeah,
To the people who, for some
Yeah.
strange reason, are mad.
but I mean, there is a whole like genre of
The
cartoons.
the people who
That
get
do
upset.
that.
I know. But the people who
So
get
it's
upset
kinda
that
hard
it's,
not to
it's,
have
it's,
that
it's
going
like
on at the
it's
same
right up
time.
there with Carl Tuckerson getting mad about the green M&M.
Or Tucker Carlson.
Whatever his name is, I don't care.
Carl Tuckerson.
Carl Tuckerson. It's like him getting mad at the green M&M for not being sexy anymore. Like, it's bizarre.
Whatever.
It's bizarre.
That's like you're giving him way more time than he needs existence.
Well, that did happen. It
yeah,
was
no,
a
but
thing.
you're giving him way more like airtime than his whole life expectancy warrants.
That's why I called him Carl Tuckerson.
Yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I just thought it was strange when it was shared in our group chat. I was
Yes.
like, why is this happening?
I know. I think
Who's
they were just
staring at
joking. I think they were just joking around.
Rogues took us. I wasn't, and to be honest, the way she was drawn was not what interested me in Rogue's character when it came out on the cartoon.
Right.
When I did watch it.
Yeah.
It was the way that the characters was acted by the voice actor.
Well,
Like
yeah.
the accent in the voice made
Yeah.
it more of a selling point for me than
Right.
the way she was drawn.
Right. As Jessica Rabbit would say, I'm not bad. I was just drawn this way.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Yes.
So anyway,
I think it was a southern accent, the
Yes.
Louisiana drawl that
Yes,
she has that kind of
you know what?
perked interest.
I don't want to, if people, if you want to lust over cartoons and you're a middle-aged man, I guess go for it, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sure they do make body pillows like that. So, I'm sure there's a
We're
slew
going
of
off
them.
the rails again.
I'm sure there's a slew of them living in the world somewhere.
Right. So let's move on to the main topic.
The main topic for today is
The
why is
WWE
Madam Web a thing? Oh,
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
I had a absolutely blast watching this, and I had a great time. And I had a great time talking about it with Matt Ryan on Sunday.
Yeah, his whole family got up to watch it with him.
I heard.
He was very
yes.
excited about it.
I got up at 5:30, but that's the time I normally wake up. It was just the last leg of it.
We're just ending, yeah.
Yeah. So I waited and I watched it around 2 in the afternoon.
We watched it last night. Or no, Sunday night.
I watched it Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I had a great time. I think what we should do is before WrestleMania, we should make predictions.
Okay.
I think that would be fun, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can start our own little fantasy wrestling league.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be up for that.
There's a lot of them online. A lot of people do that. It's not
yeah.
it's not a new concept, I'll tell you that much.
Well, okay.
But
We could do
I'm
it.
saying we can still do it.
We
and
can do
have
it.
a thing, and whoever loses has to do something stupid.
You have to dress up as Rogue.
Yes, in the old Rogue costume.
In the old Rogue costume.
The old Rogue costume, not the new one. The old Rogue.
You have to
costume.
do the whole podcast dressed up as Rogue.
I don't know if anyone wants to see that.
Oh my God. Would that be great?
No,
Would that be great?
I think maybe if you had to do the whole podcast dressed up as Doink the Clown.
Now,
be
that's an
interesting.
easy one to get. The clown outfit.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
I don't think either of us want to dress up as a clown. I think we got to find something that we'd not want to.
but that's the whole point. If you lose, you
I
have to
know.
do something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to do something you want to do.
See, it's
What's the
for me
point?
on my end of it though. I feel bad though because I feel like I have more intuition, more knowledge on this than you do, and I would just if I just make you lose 4 times in a row, I'm gonna feel bad.
How about this?
If I just keep embarrassing you constantly, that's gonna make me feel terrible.
Oh, it would make you feel so bad. I could. Feel
I
it.
would not want to do that to you as my best friend. I
Well-
would like to give you a chance to actually win at something.
I obviously I'm not going to watch all the Monday and Friday night events.
That's what I'm saying. It's you're
but
not
I
gonna
did
get
watch.
all the.
But I am watching the after shows to get the highlights of
Oh,
what
there you go.
happened.
Yeah.
Which I did this morning of
Yeah.
what happened last night.
Yeah.
And now I am kind of interested in watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Because I'll say her name. Jax.
Nia Jax?
Nia Jax is going to be up against Becky Lynch.
Yes.
And I kind of want to see that match.
Yeah.
So I might watch.
Yeah.
I have a meeting, but I might wait till I get home.
You can watch it after.
on
the fact.
Peacock,
You got the
I'll watch it,
Hulu.
yeah.
So. It airs the next day on Hulu.
What's on Peacock?
I know, but that too.
Yeah. So, real quickly, I'll go through the match. My favorite match
Mm-hmm.
was the Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax.
That was really the only good match on the show.
Now, as someone who's new, and Rhea Ripley being
The
one
tag
of the
match was probably the worst match on the show.
right. We'll go in order. We'll go this order I have. So, her being one of the wrestlers that I was exposed to when getting into wrestling.
Yes,
I love her character.
she's a very good character.
Right. I like her a lot. So this match was great because I equated it. We were talking yesterday. It was on Sunday. It was very much like watching Hulk Hogan versus
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant.
Yes, it's very much that's the motif they're going for
Yeah.
with that.
And that's what brought me back.
Yeah.
And I had the most fun with this match because even though there was no way Ripley was going to lose in her home place.
I mean, they've done that before where they've
They have.
had people do that.
But this was too big. And
I mean, Indy Hartwell lost.
But I'm saying
she's from Australia.
I was like on the edge of my seat a little bit because Jax was like throwing her around like a rag doll for a little bit there, and there was some really good moves. It was that was a great match, and at the end her celebrating with her family there was fantastic.
That was going.
That was
off
a lot of
what
fun.
you were saying about That's my only downside to this whole PLE was the fact that it was very a formulaic PLE. It was very much we knew where things were going to end up at the end of
I understand that, but
PLE.
as long as you have fun watching it, who cares?
Yeah, I mean the
I had fun.
wrestling was fun, but like you were saying, not watching the Mondays and Fridays might help with that kind of viewership of these PLEs.
Right.
If you watch the Mondays and Fridays, going into it, there's a very good chance Becky was going to win the women's Elimination Chamber match.
I didn't know.
There's a very good chance Drew was going to win the men's Elimination Chamber match.
Yes, you do have more. You're privy to
you
more
hear
information.
The storylines, you know the
Right.
storylines, you know what's going on. You kind of see how they're mapping things out in how they're going to tell the stories.
What I'm going to do because I'm not going to be able to watch all that stuff, I will watch the after show. I watched the after show this morning. I got everything I needed to know that happened on Monday, and I know what's coming up. Yeah. So I'll just kind of stay informed that way because there's too much.
And you got Liv bopping around in there in the women's side of things.
Yes.
She's not happy. The only reason why that's happening, and I'll tell you this little inside baseball
Well,
stuff.
do you want to go into the women's elimination?
The women's match. I'll tell you about
what are we talking about? The chamber match, or
from last night? The whole reason why the Becky Nia thing's happening.
Oh yes.
Becky, Rhea Kim comes out, does her thing.
Yep.
Becky comes out, chirps back. Rhea leaves. Nia comes in, takes out Becky.
Yes, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it in the highlights this morning.
Who would have thunk they'd schedule Nia to have a match and not Becky?
Right.
So Nia's in a match with Liv Morgan for some reason.
Yeah.
Because of all the 6 people that were in the ring when she beat up all the women, the only one that decided that they wanted to go after Nia Jax was the smallest, tiniest blonde one.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's all happening on her side is there's a big internet groundswell of trying to put Liv into this spot like the groundswell was for Cody on the men's side.
Yeah, she's on the
although Liv
road
didn't
of revenge.
Even though Liv didn't win anything. That
I'm not
warranted
a big fan
her.
of hers right now. I don't really
her
like
character is just weird. Like there's no real basis for why she's angry.
She
her
says,
only basis is that she got beat up by Rhea.
Right. She's on a road to revenge.
But
That's
you only
what she
have
says.
revenge on one person. And you're so far down the pecking order where you're not going to have a reason to come after that person.
But that's why it makes a good story because she's trying to work her way up to the top.
Yeah, but it's not going to be. There's not enough time for that story to work.
I think it's going to be a longer story. It's going to
That's what I'm saying. But it needs to be like. But if that's the case, and Rhea loses the belt at Mania, so to speak, then where does that story go? Like, how is her going after Rhea still mean anything if Rhea's just Rhea without the belt? The reason that story works is if Rhea still has the belt.
Right.
And the only thing that I'm thinking of that they could do, which I think they're kind of setting up in the Gunther situation, is if they do, like they used to have, the Money in the Bank would happen at WrestleMania.
Yes. Yeah.
And they'd have the thing where you win the case and then have it till the next WrestleMania. I think they're going to still, I think they're heading in that direction of doing that, but with the women's Rhea's belt, and I think with Gunther's belt, where they're setting up these multiple competitors, like contenders.
Yeah.
That instead of having just the one-on-one match, they're going to try to jam in 6 women and 6 wrestlers.
Oh my God.
Because in that way you get more people in on the payday of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And you could branch out more stories that way, as opposed to just putting on one-on-one matches.
Yeah, because I think
that's a very Triple H NXT era type of storytelling.
Yeah.
Because instead of just using a one-on-one match,
you get two and two, 3 and 3,
4 or 5 people. That's how the Elimination Chamber came about back in the day. Was how can we get multiple stories going in one location?
Well, for WrestleMania, it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley.
Right now. There's still 40 days.
But they're billed.
Yeah, but they could change that. I always
That's a
if
big.
you notice on any of the graphics. Here's the thing you need to learn as a newbie to this situation. If you see any of their graphics that they have for any of the matches, even Cody versus Roman, Drew versus Seth, anything that's announced, on the bottom there's always an asterisk with a card subject to change. And they put that on there in case someone gets hurt,
yes,
someone gets sick,
or they change up the story.
something happens and they decide that this isn't going to work. We're going to pull the plug on this and go a different direction.
Well, that's good to know because I was thinking about, I heard how The Rock is going to be part of the Friday night show for the next 3 weeks.
Yes, and the next 3 weeks shows have all sold out just about.
Yeah, so something big's going to happen. I feel by week 3, come on.
Well, I think by the end of the month, I think I would say probably the Friday SmackDown before WrestleMania weekend, they'll do the Rocky versus Cody match.
You think?
That's the way to do it.
Before WrestleMania?
Or the tag match.
Because isn't that built for WrestleMania?
No. It's rumored to be happening at WrestleMania.
Because it's supposed to be.
But I think that's a thing you do as your build the.
Do we have one more big event before WrestleMania?
No.
They said SmackDown. No, SmackDown's just
It's a regular Friday
That's a
show.
Friday show. Okay.
There's no more PLEs before WrestleMania.
Yeah. Because it's a big one.
There won't be another PLE besides WrestleMania till May.
SummerSlam?
No, May. You have Payback, I think it's what it's called. That's usually the one that's the way right after.
Well, that's why I'm interested to see Nia Jax up against Becky Lynch.
Yes.
Because could something happen there?
Well, I think that's what they're going to... They might either do the injury angle thing where Becky gets beat up by Nia, and there's a thing of is she going to be able to make it to Mania?
Because are they going to do another rematch between Nia
No,
and...
I don't think
Because we
so.
already got that.
No.
I don't want to see
the only thing
it
that
again.
could happen is they're going to like gradually start like adding people to the match. Like we'll make it a 3-way, and then Liv will somehow get involved, and then it'll break down where that is now.
Yeah. Now, isn't Ripley part of...
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day?
Yes.
Because that's a whole thing, and they got
Yeah.
the bloodlines a whole thing.
Yes.
They're trying to rip apart the bloodline.
Yes.
That's
Cody's big mission now.
That's very
He's
interesting.
a blood hunter.
Yes, it's very
He's
fun.
your character in D&D.
Yeah.
He's a blood hunter.
He's a blood hunter. That's very fun.
He's basically the same kind of character, too, because he's not very good at it.
Hey, at D&D, I've been pretty good. I've been rolling pretty good.
He shakes hands with, like, demons who take their souls.
Yes. Well, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
I would say the Waller show was really entertaining. Waller Effect.
Yeah.
Um,
It's entertaining, but also annoying at the same time.
why?
Because the way
Those are fun.
the way they portrayed that segment led me to think, okay, are they setting up Waller to turn and become a good guy?
Well, didn't Waller
Because he kind of just stood there.
Didn't
and
he
watched
just
Austin
wrestle on
Theory get
Monday?
his
Didn't he
ass
just get his
beat?
Didn't he lose against what's his name last night?
He lost to Cody last night.
Yeah.
But
So Cody's kind of like showing.
But no, so that's like, and then last night, all of a sudden, he's mad at Cody and Seth ruining his show.
Yes.
But last night, you didn't do anything. You just stood there and watched Austin Theory get taken out.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you weren't really mad about it last night, why are you all of a sudden mad about it today?
Wow. I mean, what
So
could
it's
he
kind of
do?
like a weird, that was like the weird thing.
Right.
That's that weird storytelling that like, you can't like, there's no consistency in your storytelling. That's the things that annoy me about the new regime is they do that sometimes. Well, just be like, oh, don't remember that what happened last night. We're just going to change the story to Austin Theory is the guy that got beat up. Why wouldn't he not be the one that's mad and want to have a match with Cody?
Because was he the one talking about The Rock and he got like
he's the one that wears the all day shirt. And all that. Yeah, but it's like, why wouldn't you be that guy that then wants to fight Cody? That should be the match that should happen last night.
Right.
Should have been Austin Theory versus Cody.
I agree.
And Grayson Waller should have just been there.
Right.
And been even more annoyed with Austin.
He was upset though.
But but like he should have been on the outside, not in the match.
Not in the match.
And he should have been annoyed with Austin Theory for not being able to still beat Cody and then gradually start that erosion of the two of them to then like having them go against each other.
That would have been good. That would be good.
So that's I would have done as
Gotcha.
the writer. I think it's just coming off of what you saw story-wise in Elimination Chamber, where, again, like I said, Waller just stood there lean against the ropes,
Yes.
and then like sat in the chair and looked at Austin like he was aggravated with him. To then all of a sudden the last night being like, "You ruined my show. I must fight you."
Yep.
That doesn't make sense.
But
There's
also,
no
we
storytelling there.
I know that show was kind
If
of.
you were gonna
we
set
didn't
up
get
the match
all of it,
last
I
night,
feel like. Yeah.
Grayson should have done something during that would have made him mad with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
The way you told that story made you look like he was mad at Austin.
I feel like sometimes these stories, like even when I got into this last year, the whole thing with Seth's back was BS to me because I never felt it. They can't.
Well, yeah.
Everybody was talking about his
They kind of
back.
dragged it out too much.
They dragged it on, and everybody's talking about
and they
his
kept
back.
having Shinsuke like beat him up.
Yes.
And it's like,
And he
well,
would.
then why
My
would he
favorite.
Not just,
My favorite. This
why
is
wouldn't
when.
you, if his back's bad, why don't you just kick him in the back?
Yes.
And then just pin him and win.
Okay. When he was fighting Seth
Or beat
Rollins
the
last
snot out
year.
of him.
This is when I think I realized this is the moment I was like, okay, I'm back in. When they were wrestling and he's got him pinned against the ropes and they got a close up on what's
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. They had his face and he starts rubbing his back. He's just like and I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, like that.
It's like, I can feel the pain.
Yes, yes.
I can feel your pain.
And here was the disconnect for me. I'm coming into this going, okay, the announcers are talking about his back. They did a whole preload package about his back and his family.
Yeah.
But not once during that match was he wincing, talking like he wasn't doing.
Yeah.
Oh my! He was just like wrestling pretty fine.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very comical. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, the back, I feel."
It's like it
it."
makes you feel like there's plenty of people out there in the
But it
world
was great.
that
I
know
loved it.
what back pain is.
Exactly. I've
experienced back pain.
Yes, and he did not.
And what he's doing is not something anyone that has back pain can do.
No. I had back problems when I used to shovel heavy snow, and I'd be on my back
everyone's
for like
had
a
it.
whole day.
Yeah, when you're
I
old.
couldn't get up.
And after you hit 40, everyone has back issues.
Right.
But it's just like,
They played that off way
yeah,
too long.
It's just kind of like, so that's the kind of stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. But you have fun with it. You know it's
there
stupid.
needs to be someone in the room that's like, hey guys,
Yeah.
maybe we should make this
We should kill
connect to
this.
reality a little bit and not just totally go off into superhero territory
Yes.
where he's not Superman and he's just magically able to leap tall buildings in a single bound just
So-
because we said so.
Right. Now, I kind of like Seth Rollins now. I like his character now. With Cody Rhodes, I kind of like that.
Well, they've had to like
Team up.
pivot with him because of his knee situation.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was not hurt, he would be wrestling and doing things. So now you're just having him go out there and talk continually.
Yeah, because he's
And
waiting to get the doctor's
unfortunately,
approval.
sometimes his promo skills kind of fall off
Yeah.
if he goes too long.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of like, all right, dude, you just kind of need to just pass the baton over to somebody else, please. Because you're kind of just rambling. You lost your train of thought. And now we're out into nowhere, no man's land.
So we'll go on
As
to
opposed to Drew, who can talk for days.
right. Yes, you can. We'll go on to the women's tag team, which is the
Kabuki Warriors.
Kabuki Warriors.
Asuka and Kairi Sane.
I like them. They're fun. They were
Damage
up.
control.
They were up against
Damage control.
Candice, and
Candice LeRae,
and
who was the wife of Johnny Gargano, actually,
okay, and
Indy Hartwell.
Indy Hartwell. Now in WrestleMania, the Kabuki Warriors are up against
Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
yes, because they were on Raw last night.
They are. They're raw superstars.
Yes. Funny. This is. Hear me out on
Or
this.
as they call on the internet, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Light.
Ronda Lights. Hear me out
Zoe
on
Stark.
this. The way Tony Stark,
Zoe Stark.
the way they talk, they feel like they're ripped out of Letterkenny.
Yes.
So I watched
yeah.
their interview.
Yeah.
And the way they talk, there is a language they have that
Yeah.
is very
Very
peculiar.
the Northwest.
It's very interesting, very comical. I found it very
Northwest.
comical.
I want to say Northwestern.
But I was like, they kind of talked like the jocks in Letterkenny a
Yes.
little bit. They reminded me a
yeah.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They have that MMA presentation.
yeah, these women are like
Yeah.
built.
They
Like
could kick your butt.
they're thick. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if that match still goes on for WrestleMania, that's gonna be a tough
Which I
one
assume
to
it will.
predict.
It'll be like I was assuming that would be a a Saturday early match.
Because those two
Remember,
women
it's 2
are,
days. So
yeah,
they have a lot to fill.
they're
they got a lot of
big.
stuff they got to put in there.
They could probably crush the Kabuki Warriors, but at the same time,
Yeah.
the Kabuki Warriors are really
Kabuki Warriors.
Kabuki. They're very
Not kombucha warriors.
Kombucha. The Kabuki Warriors. Did I say that?
Man.
I did not say.
You said something.
I did not say kabuki.
Kombucha warriors.
I did not say kombucha.
You said kabucha warriors.
Anyway, now you gotta have me say it wrong. Don't get
Kabuki.
me down there.
Kabuki warriors.
They are very small and they can get.
Yes. They're very agile.
Agile is the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
God, Mark. Now I'm thinking
Yeah.
kabuki.
Well, there's different styles too.
Yeah.
Because you have like the jujitsu
Yes.
style of Stark and Baszler to the Japanese strong style of Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Right.
And then you got Io and Bailey. That's a match that'll be happening at WrestleMania, more than likely.
More than likely.
I mean, that's pretty much no one's even talking about it, but it is happening. She
Um.
did win the Royal Rumble after all.
Yes, she
You know,
did.
she's not in any of the posters or any of the promotional stuff whatsoever.
Yeah.
Io or Bailey. It's like, hey guys,
What's going on there?
let's put Bianca on this stuff for some reason.
So something could happen between now and then. maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So we have the men for the men's tag team, which I wasn't really into either of these guys. This group.
Judgment Day? It's going to be Judgment Day. I think it's going to be Judgment Day and Awesome Truth.
Which is Finn and
No,
Damien,
that's the Judgment Day side, yes.
and then Pete and Taylor.
That was Pete and
Tyler?
Tyler Bate,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's not going to happen at WrestleMania. That's just
No.
just a filler to get to Miz and R-Truth.
The Miz.
That's the story that's happening. on Raw.
All right. I'm unaware about that. That should be
Because
entertaining.
R-Truth was acting like he was in the Judgment Day as a comedy character. And he'd walk around.
Yes,
act
I
like-
yeah.
yeah.
Miz. I remember the Miz.
Well, no, R-Truth, I'm saying.
Oh,
We go around
okay.
acting like he was in. Because I think that's the thing is, and I've said this to Claire when we watched the show, and Matt Ryan too, I've said this. Damien can't cash in until they lose their tag team belts. Because the last thing you want is a double champion.
Right.
Because it's for one thing, it's very difficult to book a double champion. Because if you pin them as a tag team wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
or if they lose the belts as a tag team wrestler, they kind of lose their clout as a singles champion,
Right.
in my opinion. And I also think like if you're doing that, then they're having two stories going at once. Because they're, especially as a tag team guy,
Yeah.
they're having to defend the tag team titles and also on the other side of it be involved in a singles storyline, and that's a lot of jumbling.
It's a lot. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And with him having the case now as well, so it's like you have to. That's already enough.
You got to pace it out.
Stuff.
You
have
got to.
It's like there's been no like real threat to him like cashing in.
Right.
To me, at least, I haven't really seen anything where it's been like, oh my gosh, he's gonna cash in now.
Now we have the 2 Elimination Chamber matches to talk about. Now the men's. We'll talk about the men's.
Yes,
Which say his last name for me. Drew
McIntyre.
McIntyre. It's
Not that
spelled
difficult.
differently.
No.
McIntyre.
McIntyre.
How would you spell McIntyre?
McIntyre.
Why does the TYRE throw me off?
Because it's how you spell tire in Europe.
Well, he's Irish or Scottish.
He's Scottish.
That's why.
Yeah.
McIntyre. I feel like
Yeah.
does
That's how you spell tire overseas.
That
They
does
don't have
not
the I.
look
They use the Y.
does not look right to me.
Well,
McIntyre. Well, now I know.
his
Anyway,
name.
Drew McIntyre won. That was a good elimination match for the person we all know. I don't like Logan Paul. I think a lot of people don't like Logan Paul.
Yes.
He's a heel, but he's also kind of the guy who just seems to like want to cause chaos.
Yes.
He's drawing inside there. I did enjoy, I think it was Drew who went in there and just started wailing on him inside the cage.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can't remember if it was Drew or
Inside
not.
the pod.
Inside the pod. The one thing we were talking.
I'll admit, I didn't watch that match. I kind of skimmed through it.
So
'cause
what
it
happened
just
was. What happened?
I kind of knew where it was heading. So I'm like, I don't really need to watch all this.
Drew was up against was it Randy Orton? He was up against
Yes.
one last guy, and Logan Paul comes out there with brass knuckles,
Yeah.
lays it on his opponent,
Yes.
knocks him out. Drew gets the
Yeah.
heat pin.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cheap win, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. That's kind of the shtick they're going with.
It's kind of a cheap.
And they're kind of setting up
They're setting
Randy
up Logan.
Orton and Logan Paul
They're
for
setting up.
WrestleMania.
They're setting up Logan Paul to be part of something.
No, there's just setting up him going against that Randy Orton
Yes.
at WrestleMania.
Yes. No, you're right. I want to see Logan
Even though
Paul.
he's been going against Kevin Owens this whole time.
I mean, whoever the last person he was up against, Drew McIntyre.
Because then again, they basically set up Kevin Owens as a contender to Logan Paul, and now you're gonna change that to Randy Orton, and then you also have LA Knight who's floating around as a possibility. So it's like, how many these multi-guy matches are you gonna have going on?
Right.
So we'll see.
Well, that was interesting. Drew McIntyre, I'm learning about all these guys other than the guys we already talked about. Seems like a cool guy. I saw his little interview from last night.
Yeah.
And he's going to be going up against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. That should be good. I don't know who to root for. Honestly, I don't know.
I think it what all boils down to is how healed is Seth. If Seth's back to being 100%, then I'm assuming he will win. If he's not, and they don't know like how long it's going to take for him to get to, I think they'll give it to Drew.
Yeah.
But I also think like you're also setting up Drew to win it, to then set up CM Punk coming back,
But
to then
he got
go
hurt.
after Drew.
Right? Was it CM Punk that got hurt at WrestleMania? At
At
Royal
Royal
Rumble?
Rumble, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got hurt by Drew.
Yeah.
So I think you're then setting up
Mhm.
that to happen.
Okay.
But you can then also push that back because by the time CM Punk comes back, it's going to be far enough down the road where you can wait till SummerSlam even
Yes.
to give
That would be a
Drew the
good one.
belt, and then
Right.
you're setting up CM Punk at Survivor Series. So it's all about the long-term storytelling.
I'm picking up what you're putting
Getting
down.
directions of where they're heading things.
My favorite was the Women's Elimination Chamber. Personally, I think the women's matches are always the best because they move so quickly.
Yeah.
And honestly, like Becky Lynch, I know she has one of the longest history. Like what's the word I'm looking for? She has the longest history in the WWE, right? Because she's one of the first she's one of the first women to win a championship. Am I
Well,
right?
not one of the first, like.
But she made history.
She's
She's
the first
got
double champion.
She's
Yeah,
like
Becky 2 belts.
she's
Well, they're
really prominent.
She's one of the longer tenured
yeah.
wrestlers of the group that's there now. Like
Um,
her, Bailey,
A lot of
Charlotte.
new people.
A lot of newer folks, yeah.
So the one person who came in that like I was just like blown away about how like when Tiffany Stratton came in and
Tiffy
just
time.
started doing backflips.
Tiffy
I was
time.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, she's been in NXT for a while, and she's been really good.
Dude, she came in, the backflips. You watch that video. She just comes in, takes one person down.
She was a USA gymnast. She made it to
I could tell.
almost to the Olympics. She like lost in like the final trials, I think, or something like that.
If I had to place money, I thought she would have won it.
Too early.
Yeah, because she's new.
Yeah,
She's she's new.
Yeah.
But she was really good.
yeah.
Now the other was it Liv Morgan?
Yes,
She's a firecracker,
yes.
but
That's a term for her.
she's a firecracker, but I don't think she had it in her to make it to the end.
Again, her
she's-
story's too early.
Yeah. And then you had Bianca
Belair.
Belair,
Yes.
and Rachel or
Raquel
Raquel
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, which she didn't really do that much. I don't think.
Raquel just came back from. She come to find out she ended up contracting cellular mast syndrome,
Oh,
which is like some weird rare
never
condition.
even heard of that.
I didn't hear about it until I heard that she got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it causes like random swelling in your body,
Oh,
and like there's no like cure or anything for it.
yeah.
They can just like give you medicine to like control it, which is why her face was very like swollen looking.
I didn't notice that. So
Yeah. Last night she looked like it had come down, which is good. But yeah, so it's just if you see pictures of her from late last year to now, she's lost like a lot of muscle because she couldn't work out when she was sick.
yeah,
Really super sick. Like they didn't even know what she had or what was going on.
I'm
with her.
sure it took a long time to figure out.
So they're still, I think she's still like coming back from that. So
Well,
she's just kind of thrown in because there was another plan, I think, in place for that spot, but they decided not to go with it. So she kind of was just like the filler person for that.
I mean, it was a great match overall. I enjoyed it. I think Becky Lynch was fantastic, but I
Yeah.
think the person is Tiffany Stratton to watch out. Like, I think
there's a lot of
she's
good,
gonna be.
there's a lot of good female wrestlers in NXT right now.
Right.
That's going to be the women's division, and the WWE is going to get really
Right.
stacked really quickly.
Yeah, she's going to be big.
There's a lot of younger male wrestlers too that are coming up that are going to be. It's pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah.
NXT is a fun show to watch for that side of things. The other stuff is kind of tough because you're watching people learning how to do promos and tell stories.
But
and
that's
stuff.
kind of fun.
So it's interesting to see on that side of things, but some of the stuff's very hokey and very, very like kitschy and corny and
Right.
stuff like that. But it's very interesting. It's very fun because then they'll integrate like guys from the main roster or women from the main roster into that,
Yeah.
and it makes it very interesting. Like Baron Corbin's down there now, and the Good Brothers are down there.
Oh yeah.
So it's fun to see those guys like interact with the younger group.
So now for WrestleMania, we're gonna see Becky Lynch potentially up against Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I'm gonna go for.
Well,
I
we'll
don't
have
know. I like
we're
them
gonna
both.
have to do a pick 'em. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to do it.
We're gonna have. I love to do a prediction.
We'll do it.
We are
Let's
gonna do it. We're gonna do a prediction
Full
show.
on. We'll start a competition. We could do, as I know there's a website, there's a group online that does this. They call it Wrestle League.
Mhm.
It's called Wrestle Talk. If you're looking for a good, I'll throw the shout out to another YouTube group. If you're looking for good wrestling information, Wrestle Talk, they're guys out of England.
Yeah.
They do an amazing job. They've been doing it for a while now. There's no one else that could catch them. We're not trying to, nor do we want to
No.
put forth the amount of effort that they put into their stuff.
No, this is like once in
But
a
they
month
do like a
thing
Wrestle
for
League
us.
where they go from like big show to big show. So we go like their season will start at WrestleMania, and you can play until like the next big 4 show, which I think is SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, SummerSlam. Or one of those. I can't remember which one. But anyway, so it's like something like that. But yeah, we could do something like that. Like we should do like a
Yeah.
season, like a whole year of PLEs
Let's
predictions.
Yeah, let's do WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and then we can go from there.
Yeah, but I'm saying like keep track of our scores, and then like
Oh yes.
by the time we get to next WrestleMania,
Oh, I see.
so
what
like
you're
the
saying.
Elimination Chamber would be like the final for that season.
Yes.
And
So
then whoever wins
WrestleMania
that
would be
is
the
the winner.
But technically, hold on, isn't WrestleMania kind of like the big period?
That's
to all
the period.
This?
Yeah, it's like this. So that could be like our end of the year. But
So-
we could start off.
So could we start after WrestleMania?
yeah, so WrestleMania would be like our trial run of this.
Right.
And if we do it and we like it, then starting with the next
Right.
paper-
Then go
PLE,
all the way through to WrestleMania.
we can do all the way up to
To
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania
Whoever
next year.
wins after WrestleMania next year
Yeah, because I feel
is
like
the champion, and the other guy's the loser.
I kind of feel like WrestleMania is what you work up to, and then everything resets after WrestleMania.
And I
Use-
do know enough people where we could, you know what it should be? Whoever loses has to take a chop from a real professional wrestler. I've done it before. It's not fun. I know people. I can make this happen.
You know, it'd be funny. You know, it would be great. You'd have to be willing to do this. I think I would be willing to do this. That we do it. The loser has to wrestle in one of
No.
those shows,
No.
one of those local shows.
No.
You got to be a wrestler.
No.
You have to come up with a
No.
name.
We would get hurt.
You come up with a name.
I think if we could possibly do something
they
where we
would
have
work with you to make sure you didn't get
No, I
hurt.
think we could do a thing where we have to do like we could come up with something. I'll come up with something.
right,
But
we'll
we
come up
don't
with
think us wrestling is a good idea.
Wouldn't that be
At
funny?
our, at our age,
Yeah.
and I know with my athletic skills at this point,
Yeah, yeah.
where I'm at this point athletically,
I know.
probably not the
Fair
best
enough.
idea.
Fair enough. Maybe if we were
I don't want to
younger.
end up in the hospital
Okay.
with a leg decapitation.
Then
or
I don't want to
something.
take a karate chop or a
It's just a
wrestling.
slap. It's not as bad as you think it is. It's also not as fun as you think it is. But It's
Okay.
definitely not as bad as you think it is.
All right. Well, maybe we could do that
Yeah.
or something.
I've had it done to me before. It's not terrible.
All right.
It's not fun, but it's not terrible.
You're really selling it, Mark.
I'm just saying. They do it for fun. That's the fun thing. That's the funny thing is that after shows when they do get together and stuff, they just do it like it's some fun thing, and they just just slap each other like it's a hilarious.
Because
And they laugh about it. And it's like, they're all walking around with like bruised chests, and I'm like, what? I don't want to be a part of this.
All right, Mark. Well, I had a great time watching Elimination Chamber, and I had a great time talking about it with you and learning more. And
You know what we could do
it
is we
a lot
could go to
fun.
one of these shows. I think we should do that one of these days.
So you want to hear something? They're coming to Hartford Monday Night Raw in May.
I know they are.
Yeah.
We can go. I can get us. I know a person we might possibly be able to get. Yeah, we can do that.
How about you get the tickets?
I'll talk to you about it after.
All right. I got the Blink tickets. So
No, I'll
if
you're
you-
going to be aggravated when I tell you about it, but we'll talk about it after.
I would be aggravated?
Yes.
Why?
I'll tell you about it after.
What?
It's at the XL Center.
Yeah, I know.
Just think about that and realize the connections I have at the XL Center.
Oh, well, what's that?
I
bad?
can't tell you about it on there.
All right. I would go to that, though. I think my brother, Tony, would go. He's a huge wrestler.
All right.
All right. Anyway, I did see that. It's May 5th.
I know. That's right on my anniversary. So I
I
don't know if
thought
I
of
can
that.
pull it. I
It's on May 5th.
don't know if I could pull that card, but we'll
Cinco
see.
de Mayo.
Cinco, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on Facebook yesterday. Of course,
a different
Facebook knows
experience.
I'm watching wrestling
It's
now.
a different experience. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, because you don't have the
Watching it live is not as fun as seeing it
on TV.
May 6th, Josh is saying? May 6th.
Was a Monday.
Yeah.
The Monday of Raw.
That's Monday.
The
Yeah,
Monday
because
of Raw.
my
Sorry,
anniversary
I was off by a day.
My anniversary's on a Saturday. That's what made me think. I was like, that makes no sense.
But, it's like a sporting event. I prefer watching them on TV because you have the color
You know,
commentary.
the announcers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it'd still be cool
It's
to
a
go.
fun experience.
Yeah, to go once.
Yeah. I was
right?
talking about going to like a local wrestling show.
Oh,
Those are fun.
I've been to those.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
They're, like literally, like you can walk from your grandfather's house to like a place that does them. Which I'm surprised Tony never went to because it's literally like within walking distance.
Well, when I've done to RetroCon, they always have wrestling
yeah,
there.
those
remember?
guys are always they do their shows by your grandfather's place.
But I was talking more aligned with Raw
Yeah.
because they are coming to Hartford.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we should wrap this up.
Yes.
It's been a great show, Mark.
It has been.
I appreciate you.
This is the most we've talked about wrestling in a long time.
Isn't it nice?
It's interesting. I'm not used to it yet. I still feel like it's always been, for me, wrestling's always been that nerdy thing that I'm really into that no one else in the group is into.
Yeah. But
So I've always felt like kind of weird talking about it. Like when me and Matt Ryan talk about it,
Yeah.
I could really get deep into it.
yes.
So
It was
this
fun.
could get dangerous
It was-
because I could really get into it deep.
It was fun talking to Matt about it.
Yeah.
And
Because see, I come at it from a different angle than I think most people.
He
I
told
come
me.
at it from the storyline thing. I'm very into the storylines of it.
I was telling Matt, I'm like, I was watching it and I was fully entertained and I
Yeah.
was on the edge of my seat and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that's happening right now. I'm too new.
Yeah.
Too green.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's
And
like you kiss the girl and you like it.
Yeah.
You like the taste of her cherry lipstick.
I eat I eat crow for all the years being I can't believe
Yeah.
you still watch because you know what? Like I said,
I will say too,
I
you are coming back in
yeah, I'm coming.
at probably one of the best times
Well, Matt Ryan said that.
in WWE.
He says there's a lot of new people and there's
Yeah.
a lot of new things happening that
Yeah.
you can get yourself attached to.
And it's a way better
Yes.
product now than it was, say, even 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And The Rock's back
Yeah, which is
as Hollywood Rock. So, I mean, it's like you can't.
you know what though? The Rock being the heel, The Rock being the bad guy is really good for business right now.
It is.
It's really good for business.
It's weird for me, though, because it's really strange to see him
Everybody's got
play a
Rock
bad guy.
socks signs. It's
And then, like, go on to, like, have to talk about promoting his football league.
well, you
on
remember
other
Hollywood
networks.
Hulk Hogan when
It's
when
very
he
weird.
turned when Hulk
But he
Hogan
wasn't
turned?
like running a football organization. He was promoting Thunder in Paradise. back
Yeah,
then. It's
but
not like it's the same thing.
when Hulk Hogan was good, he had movies, and then when he went
yeah,
bad,
but he
was
wasn't really
still
doing movies that anyone watched.
I
He was
know.
doing like, you know,
I know, those kids movies.
Yeah.
but he's still doing them.
yeah.
Um,
But it's like The Rock now has to is gonna have to in the next couple weeks be promoting WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then go into like promoting the beginning of the UFL season and be on like regular TV and have to do this heel persona, but also like sell.
Well, that's what he's got to do.
So it's very interesting to me to see that dynamic and see how that's going to work.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen the next 3 weeks with him being involved.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see actual like people on the television as opposed to having proxies do the storytelling. So that'll be fun.
Yes, there you go.
Because usually it's like Paul Heyman and Uso and Solo who have to push the storyline forward.
Right.
Because Roman's too busy
if they're not there.
being on the show.
Right. If they're not there, it's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. We're
wrapping this up.
We're wrapping it up.
Yes. It's almost an hour and a half in here.
Mark,
People
it was great.
sick of
I had
hearing
fun.
us.
I had fun.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it.
That's
and
good.
I'm glad to have you part of the
That's good.
part of the frat or whatever we call ourselves. I don't know what they wrestling fans.
You know what though?
The fraternity,
Oh.
if you will.
To go back to what you're saying,
Oh.
there are things I like too, where you feel like you're the only one who's into it,
Yes.
and you almost feel a little bit protective because you're like, well, it's my thing, and nobody else into it. I get that. I get that. And listen, I'm glad I got back into it. It's fun. Also, it gives me something to talk to. Tony, me and him were texting about it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
My grandfather, other than him going off of tangents on other things I don't want to talk about, I can talk about
Yeah,
this.
you actually have something to talk about as opposed to politics.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all good. It's a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah. It was the only thing I have to say, and Josh should know this for a fact too. The one thing I do miss, but also don't miss about my dad is when we would watch with him, he would always just say things that would drive me crazy. I had to curtail what I was about to say. Like if a guy was about to do a move or run the ropes, he'd be like, he's going to lose it. He's going to get taken out. He's going to get knocked down right here. Watch. And then he'd get doing. He's like, told you so. See? This is stupid. Why are you watching this? And he would do that to me when we were watching the show. And I'm like, if you don't want to watch it, go into the room. There's plenty of other rooms to watch TV in. Why are you sitting here? But he's like, I like it. It's fun. I like doing it. But he literally had done this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's been a thing. And his father would do it even when I was younger. His dad would do the same
Mark,
thing.
you do it
but he'd watch it every time.
You do it sometimes too.
I know. It creeps in.
You do.
It creeps
you do
in.
it the
But
things
it's
you
funny.
don't like.
It's hilarious.
And you do that same stuff. So I get it. I get
It's a genetic thing. But it's just funny because like my dad, like I hear it now when I watch the shows now, I still hear it.
Yeah.
Like when Tiffany was coming off the thing.
Yeah.
Or do whatever flips. He was like, nope, she's going to lose it. She's going to crash and burn right here. And then she crashed and burned it. I was like, see, told you so. And I just hear the old man say that in my head. And it's like,
yeah,
shut up.
But she killed it.
Let me enjoy this. Because it'd always be in a match where you'd be getting into it.
Yes.
He wouldn't say it all during the show. And then he'd wait until like the biggest match.
big one.
Where it was like really like intense
Yeah.
and you're getting into the match.
Yeah.
And there's some matches where you just don't even, you lose yourself.
Right.
In what's going on. And then you start getting into it. And
Yeah.
you, like you're saying, get to the edge of your seat.
Yes.
And then that's when he would chime in with, oh, he's going to lose it right here, right? And then the guy would follow me. I told you so. I'm like,
This is stupid. Why
shut
watch
up.
this?
Why you? He's like, go away.
Dude, I
It's
was
like, I don't
so
watch races
in.
with you and be like, you see this guy? He's going to wreck right here. He's going to lose it. I told you so. It's like, how would you like if I did that to you?
Mark, you do it too. You do it. Wow.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's a heredity. You know what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it for us.
All right.
We'll be
Let's
back
get outta
next
here.
week. We'll have something to talk about. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
And come back for it. We'll see you this weekend in Manchester.
Yes.
At the Toys and Collectibles show.
Yes. Manchester Army and Navy Club
Yes.
on Elm Street. Everything's on Facebook.
Yeah. We'll have
And-
more info next week about CliffsCon.
Yes.
After Dark.
After Dark. The big one.
So see you then. And as always, be safe, be well, and be kind.
And rewind. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.